Welcome to January 6th. To kick off today, there's a massive buzz on Hacker News, and everybody's talking about Opus 4.5. Berg Holland dropped a deep dive into his experience with the new model, and it sounds like significant leap forward. Unlike typical chatbot loop, where you constantly course correcting, Opus 4.5 seems to handle complex multi-step agentic workflows with a level of autonomy we haven't seen before. He describes it less like a tool and more like a junior engineer that actually finishes the ticket. If you've been skeptical about the AI agents actually delivering on the hype, this write-up might just change your mind. And one commenter mentioned that it factored like 2000 line legacy spaghetti code and also found race conditions. Next up, a bit of a spicy take that resurfaced and climbed the charts again. It's an article titled Stop Designing Languages and Write Libraries Instead. The core argument here is that we often reach for the new domain-specific language or DSL when a well-designed library in an existing language would actually solve the problem better. And the challenges that urge that we all have to build a parser the moment the configuration file gets complicated. Even though this was written a few years back, the debate is clearly still very relevant today. If anybody remembers sendmail configuration language, that's traumatic. Next, for hardware hackers out there, this is an impressive feat. Someone managed to get a 30 billion parameter Quen model running on real time in RPI. Um, Usually, edges are stacked with smaller models like 7B or 8B under 10 gigs, definitely sometimes 1 gig. But they utilize some heavy optimization and quantization to squeeze 30B into RPI. And it seems to be usable, not just running. So it does open some possibilities for offline high intelligence home automation, for example. Um, but moving forward, um, let's get in the weeds of system engineering. So this is a new paper about IO Uring for high performance databases. So if you're following kernel development, this is a modern answer to asynchronous IO, replacing older interfaces. This paper breaks down exactly what it makes when it makes sense to implement it. It's not a magic bullet. There's some trade-offs and complexities in debugging, but some people in the comments say that they got CPU usage down by 40% under heavy load. This is database engineers talking in Hacker News. Now on the consumer tech side, we've seen breakthrough in optics. This is a new autofocus glasses that change the focus based on what you're looking at. So this is imagine bifocals that aren't just split in half. It's a whole glass adjusts depending on what you're looking at. So it has eye tracking to detect your focal point. So it's a cool example of miniaturized actuators solving a very human problem. Unfortunately, not coming to US yet. So they're targeting Europe first, and then there's a similar solution that is done by a Japanese company, again, not in US. You gotta go to eBay. Um, Next is consumer electronics. So CES is underway, and there's a lot of announcements from different companies. So this one specifically was high in the votes, and this is AMD's latest silicon, Venice and MI400. So it's a new big swing at the AI accelerator market, trying to challenge NVIDIA. So significant architecture changes, particularly in how they're handling memory interconnects and chiplet packaging. Um, so if you're into high performance computing or want to build home lab, this is pretty cool. And in discussions, they're talking about how Lego, it's like Lego blocks that are you can now interconnect chips on a wafer. This is similar to what is going on with this giant one wafer AI accelerator that's been around for a little while. Next one. So this is a classic return to the feed today. This is a magazine called Frag, one of the longest running hacker e-zines, um, dating back to the 80s. So in this specific article, How Money Works, it's a fascinating technical deconstruction of the financial system, not the economics of it, like where the money is coming from, but the actual protocols, ledgers, transaction flows, where, how do those numbers go from one account to the other account. So it's basically reads like documentation manual for the monetary system. um, so it's a cool reminder that finance is very old and very complex distributed system. Of course, people are talking about how settlements run, um, and Swift and ACH and all of the legacy protocols. Pretty cool read. Um, Next one. So this is a question that makes security teams very nervous. Can AI replace penetration tester? So this new preprint paper tried to answer this by pitting different AI agents against human pros in real world scenarios. And the results are mixed. So AI agents are terrifyingly fast, of course, at identifying known vulnerabilities and scanning broad attack surfaces, but they struggle with creative chaining of exploits that human pen testers excel at. So, of course, it's a hybrid model, same as for software engineers, but the gap is closing pretty quickly. So everybody needs to learn. So on the engineering side, we've been doing agents for a while, but this is now for pen testers. Something that I've done in my own work is trying to create test scripts using AI agents, and that works very good. But of course, chaining things together, identifying um, much wider scope of what is available in a specific system, that will be hard or impossible for agents. Um, this is OSINT, Open Source Intelligence. Um, so this is a demo of GeoSpy. They showed how to locate a photo of a random vehicle in about 30 seconds using AI. And it's not just looking at the car. Um, it analyzes the background for micro details like style of the curb and vegetation here, shadow angles, signage on the fonts that they used on the signage. So uh, pretty scary. So basically, the consensus, this is like GeoGuessr God mode, and scary, but this is happening. And finally, to wrap things up, um, if you're addicted to scrolling on your phone, like you're doing right now, why not switch to Doom coding? So this is a fun open source project that creates a usable terminal environment specifically designed for mobile interfaces everywhere. It's not just SSH into your computer, it's a UI wrapper that makes writing code on touchscreen actually kind of bearable. So the idea is to reclaim your dead minutes that you're waiting on bus or sitting on the couch. Instead of reading bad takes on social media, you could be fixing the bug that's annoying you. It's open source on GitHub, and basically it uses Tailscale to talk to Claude running on your computer. Or you could be mindful and look at the trees. See you tomorrow.